Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. After holding the hatred for over 3,000 years, he had studied on raising his potion's strength madly, dreaming of the day he could take his revenge. Poison had always thought, if his seventh brother hadn't gone to distract the enemy back then, he could have totally escaped. However, to save Poison, he went to block the scaled undying Tuolu, thereby sacrificing his life. I've succeeded, seventh brother, I did it, I'll kill that flesh-eating freak. Poison shouted within. Over the 3,000 years, he laughed and cursed on the surface, but that hatred had always remained within. This grudge was settled. There's another one. Poison turned fiercely and stared at the distant Tai Wo fighting against the scaled undying Fu Wei-san. Go and die. Poison controlled his plant life form, and immediately 72 vines swiftly shot towards him. It wasn't just him. Luo Feng had already controlled his Nanshan armament to head towards the last enemy, the strongest of the Chiosha group. Die. You can't escape. Die. The illusionists Wei and Demon Lady, along with the spirit reader Mad Wu and God etc., all used their soul attacks and illusions, along with spirit weapons and so on. They didn't aim to actually damage him, but as long as they could affect him in the slightest, it would allow Tai Wo to gain the advantage. Tuolu is dead. Fu Wei-san noticed his partner's death, and glanced at Luo Feng and Poison who were rushing over. He was shocked within. Those two sector lords are very powerful. The moment they combine forces with this human undying, I'll be in trouble. I may even fall here. I can't care about anything else. The scaled undying Fu Wei-san wanted to flee without getting injured. However, with Tai Wo holding him back now, and Luo Feng and Poison rushing over. Yuyaya! He roared manically. The flaming black chain on his body instantly vanished, and he used his two claws to smash directly at Tai Wo's fists. Swell. His two claws immediately glowed a glaring fiery red. One had to know that an undying's body was formed from countless amounts of undying energy condensed together. The moment one became undying, his body could easily become endless undying energy and vice versa. Of course, he had to maintain the spirit imprint for it to be complete. Fu Wei-san instantly gave up both his arms, placing about 10% of the energy he had accumulated over countless years into them. It may seem like a small 10%, however every part of an undying's body was filled with their spirit imprint. Hence, while exploding, it would give up part of their spirit imprint too. He didn't have an undying body yet. That was something that allowed regeneration, so long as there was a single cell available. He wasn't at that level, hence, blowing up 10% of his body was already his limit. Rumble. The powerful explosion hit Tai Wo and knocked him far away. The surrounding space exploded open, with a large ravine opening from the tears. Countless space fragments flowed madly throughout and rippled in all directions. Even the distant floating scaled sector Lord Warrior Corpse's large amount of items were instantly destroyed from the ripples. Rumble. Fu Wei-san used his undying armor to withstand the explosion, and used its force to propel him away as he swiftly escaped. He instantly flew over 100,000 kilometers away. As he escaped, the large amount of items about were knocked astray. No one would have discovered that among the countless items, there was a seemingly normal black space ring. Bastard, he got away. Poison gritted his teeth. He sure fled real fast. Luo Feng gazed at the opponent that was already 1,000,000 kilometers away flying close to light speed. When an undying truly wanted to flee, and there was distance. Unless one had teleportation, otherwise even an emperor-level undying wouldn't be able to chase. Let's go, the commotion was too huge. If time drags on, there will definitely be many other race warriors rushing over. Tai Wo ordered. Hurry and collect the spoils. The Sector Lord elite team swiftly collected the goods, sat in the C9 ship and left. Shattered Stars space. The C9 grade ship was progressing, heading to their base. So close, just a little more, and we would have killed the other undying flesh-eating freak. Poison had regained his normal form, his eyes filled with mad excitement. Alright, it's already not bad. To force that punk to sacrifice 10% of his undying body, that's already a huge cost. Taiwo laughed. Even after 100,000 to 1 million years, he won't be able to regain the spirit imprint. What's going on? Rock asked curiously. Their race can self-destruct without any consequences. How can him exploding 10% of his undying body have such a high cost? Their explosions only explodes the body, later, returning it to undying energy. Taiwo explained, and this undying energy holds energy and their spirit imprint. It's the foundation of an undying. With the energy gathered together, it can form an undying body. However, the moment one self-destructs, it blows up even the undying energy with no remains at all, becoming the most basic particle flow. Taiwo laughed, hence its power is huge. This is also why the explosion wouldn't be huge. Self-destructing, however, creates a huge explosion. Taiwo said, that undying energy holds his spirit imprint. If he only lost a little, it can easily regenerate. However, losing 10% at one go equates to losing 10% of his soul. Even though the imprint is still whole, his strength and abilities etc. will all suffer a huge loss. It would take a very long time to recover. Of course, if he had reached the level of undying body, even after the explosion and the undying energy begins to crumble, the spirit imprint collapsing, as long as one fragment remains, he would be able to instantly absorb the countless broken fragments of energy and regain his complete undying body. Taiwo said, once one reaches that level, he would be very hard to kill. Not just 10%, even if he loses 99.99% of his body, as long as there's a fragment, he can completely recover and instantly. Rock nodded. Let's toast. For seventh brother, for the many lost comrades over the years, cheers. Cheers. Taiwo, Poison and the others all lifted their glasses. Even though Luo Feng and Rock were new recruits, they could feel how emotional they were. From the day I entered the outer region wars, death has always been beside me. I've been here for over 30,000 years. During this period, from Sector Lord to Undying, the many life and death partners, Big Brother, Third Brother, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh and Ninth, they've all died. Taiwo looked at Poison beside him. Poison took a deep breath too. Back then Taiwo was number 2. Poison joined the team later on too, and had always been taken care of by seventh brother. He enjoyed the company of the childlike adorable Poison. The old comrades go and new ones come. Taiwo exclaimed, we all have our own targets. Our team's second fool completed his target and retired. I'll probably retire in another 20,000 years too. Let's wish that the brothers and sisters here will live until they retire. The group raised their glasses. Living till retirement. They toasted. The group of old members had already completed their most basic quotas, they were all free. However, they didn't want to return to living normal lives, as they had their own goals. Hence, they wanted to acquire large amount of contribution points to exchange for treasures. One had to know that 100,000 contribution points could exchange for one mixed element, and that allowed them to get treasure from the army system. Accumulating 1 billion points was 10,000 mixed elements. That was already the wealth of a normal Undying. Within humanity's territories, these sector lord generals, even after risking it all for 1,000 eras, they probably wouldn't even earn 10,000 mixed elements unless they had special encounters. And in the outer region wars, as long as they could survive for a few tens of thousands of years, accumulating 10,000 mixed elements was very easy. Of course, the prerequisite was surviving for tens of thousands of years. Poison, your grudge has been settled, you can drink less from now on. Taiwo said softly. Poison nodded. Poison walked to Luo Feng and looked up at him, his eyes gleaming with gratitude. Madman, thanks. He. Luo Feng smiled. At this time, within the spirit reader Mad Wu's space ring with all the goods from the battle, there was a blur of items within. Of which there was a very normal black space ring. Amongst the many items in there was a level 5 spirit weapon. The living ship carefully flew within shattered stars. Bastards, despicable humans, bastards. The scaled undying Fu Wei-san howled in the control room. He was madly sweeping his wine and other items about, breaking sounds and curses were spewed about, reverberating throughout the room. After a while, he stopped, his claws had already returned to normal. His eyes filled with madness. 10% of my soul, this will make my space law comprehension slow down so much, despicable humans, I will definitely kill you. I bet you didn't even notice amongst the countless items floating in space there's a normal space ring, and within that space ring there's a weapon. His eyes gleamed with ferocity. That weapon is my marker item. I've hidden my spirit imprint on it, no matter how far away it is, I can feel it. And through it, I can naturally determine your locations at any time. His eyes were filled with hatred. An Undying was able to use his god country teleportation at any time, as long as there was a marker which was actually an undying crystal. Undying energy was filled with their spirit imprint. It could be a plant life form, or even a specially made marker, like the one the Primal Chaos City leader gave to Luo Feng. With some of the Undying's spirit imprint within the item, no matter how far away, whether it was in an internal world, god country etc., he could still feel it. No. I cannot waste time. These despicable humans may have already discovered its secret. Even though the chances of that happening are low, I cannot afford the chance. I have to take revenge and kill them. Fu Wei-san gritted his teeth. I have to immediately contact the other Undying allies and partners and settle them together. Who should I look for? Fu Wei-san sat in the living ship, his claws tapping the armrest as it scratched. Suddenly, his eyes gleamed. Right, my fellow clansman Lake Ya, he should be here in Shattered Stars too, I'll look for him. He immediately used his consciousness to contact his clansman via his quantum computer. He cursed, the demon race is one of the pinnacle races of the universe, however in terms of communication, it's far inferior to the humans and automaton. Especially the humans. I heard they can enter a virtual universe from anywhere in the vast universe, and it can do 100% simulation, almost like reality. I'm so envious. I'm a great Undying and yet I've never had such an opportunity. Consciousness simulation technology was advanced a long time ago. These other race Undyings normally had such chances to enter the virtual universe, however their areas were usually extremely limited. Like how Earth had the virtual world war god shrine, which only spread over Earth. These other races had their own virtual worlds that probably covered one galaxy. It wasn't even close to the size of humanity's virtual universe. And its messaging system was even worse. The universe was too huge. This was a hard problem to solve. Even within the demon race territories, it could at most do consciousness conversations within a universe country area, almost like making a call on Earth. It can only hold a conversation, and not actually see the other party. And it had to be within the area, the demon race area. If it was outside their territory, there was no way to communicate. Of course, as the outer region battlefields were a special place, communication devices were erected throughout, thus the leading allies and races could use these to communicate, and only have conversations. The universe was vast, communication was a huge problem. Even amongst the many pinnacle races, only the humans and automatons could actually communicate, at any spot in the universe. The automaton virtual world normally only covered one universe country size. The entire automaton territory had hundreds of them, every one with their own virtual world. The moment they left their territories, even though they could communicate it in other places, it was like making long-distance calls, very simple. Only the humans. They had the virtual universe, which was a legendary existence. It could simulate any universe laws, even the fusion laws. It spread throughout everywhere, even to another universe. The primal universe was within its boundaries. Using the virtual universe, humanity's strength could combine together, conquering a whole territory, and becoming a pinnacle race thus wasn't so strange. Amongst the countless shattered fragments in the area, within a particular shattered fragment, a scaled Undying was sipping his wine and enjoying, while his underling sector lords were singing praises and flattery of him. Great Lake Ya, you are the greatest leader of our West Mountain area, only you can become its greatest leader. Lake Ya. The scaled sector lords all cheered. And the powerful scaled Undying was enjoying the flattery. Suddenly he raised his hand and all the sector lords immediately went silent. The punk Fu Wei-san is actually looking for me. His eyes gleamed with villainy, his ugly claw grabbed the wine glass and he sipped from it, except. Lake Ya. Fu Wei-san, it's rare for you to find me, what's the matter? Ah, you must know I'm very busy now exploring Shatter Stars. I may encounter a battle anytime. I have no time to be distracted by you, get to the point. Otherwise I may get into a battle anytime and break the call, then you can't blame me. Lake Ya said. Tuolu is dead. Lake Ya, who initially wanted to have some fun with his partner, was shocked, his expression changed. The Chiosha race was a bloodthirsty race, every one of them grew up amidst massacre. With intense competition, only the victor could stand above the countless piles of corpses. However, whenever there were external pressures, the entire race would be incredibly united, all working together. How did he die? Lake Ya said seriously. The two chatted through the communication device. He was killed by humans. Fu Wei-san said. Fu Wei-san, are you stupid? This is the Outer Region Wars. The four pinnacle races have many subservient races, and countless warriors killing in all directions. Tuolu being killed by humans is a very normal thing. Over 1 trillion years, who knows how many of our warriors have fallen? Lake Ya said. I want to kill that human team. Fu Wei-san said. Revenge. Lake Ya was suspicious. Can you determine their location? Yes, when they collected the goods from the battle, I tossed out a space ring. That space ring has always been my trap for whenever I need to take revenge. The spirit imprint on that ring is that of one of my sector lords, and there are large amounts of items within, of which one weapon seems to give off sector lord energy, but in its inner core I've hidden my marker and my spirit imprint. Unless they have an official level or emperor level Undying to scan through the items and find the weakest signals within, otherwise, they'd never know what I left them. You sure are crafty. They killed my brother and underlings, I definitely have to take my revenge. You should know that during battle, the humans activate their scanning devices and the virtual universe network broadcast to determine their contribution points. These two together would discover the extra space ring amidst the countless others floating in space. That's a suspicious point. Relax, I naturally won't commit such a stupid mistake. Fu Wei-san said confidently. I was using my strongest attack against their Undying back then, tearing through space and destroying a large amount of the items. Among which some space rings broke and produced large amounts of items from them to take. I took the chance to toss out this ring. Even if their scanning devices and broadcast detected it, it wouldn't be suspicious at all. You sure are crafty. Lake Ya admitted, there was indeed no loophole in his plan. What's the human's strength? Lake Ya asked. Their team has 1 Undying and 9 sector lords. Fu Wei-san said, of which 2 sector lords are extremely powerful, akin to Undyings. One is a chemist and other is a spirit reader with the Nanshan armament. The two of them combined easily killed Tuolu. 3 Undying strength. Lake Ya was shocked, quickly asking, all normal level Undying fighting strength? Yes, do you think I could survive if they were stronger? Fu Wei-san said. Undyings were split into generals, official level and emperor level. Even the lowest level generals had their difference in strength. The weakest were those that could pass the 10th level of the heavenly bridge. The strongest could pass the 14th. The moment they passed the 15th, that would be the official level of strength. From the 10th to 14th, they were all general level, of course the difference within was still huge. Undying generals were also called normal Undyings. In the battlefield they were naturally split into normal Undying low, mid and pinnacle. That's still okay, however even the normal level Undying, there's 3 of them. The 2 of us together would still have no hope. Lake Ya shook his head. Relax, I won't send you to your death. Since I've set this up, I want to act only with full guarantee. Lake Ya, you are just one of the members I've invited. I heard that you are close to the Demon Clan's Majesty Meng Wei Na. Fu Wei-san said excitedly, as long as he can come along with us, even if we don't invite the other allies, just him alone would be able to destroy the human team. His Majesty Meng Wei Na. Lake Yue was shocked. Even though their communication system was inferior, their strengths were powerful. In terms of numbers, they didn't lose to the humans. In terms of intelligence, the weakest demons were akin to the normal humans. And their natural talents were much stronger than humans. Hence, their sector lords and undyings etc., they could completely suppress the humans. However, the upper echelon of humanity was very powerful, plus they had the virtual universe to assist. In a true universe battle, they had never been suppressed by the demon clan. The two pinnacle races had been fighting for countless years. The demon clan was different from humanity. The demon clan favored bloodline. Just like the space beast bloodline, they had a definite higher or lower level. Their emphasis on the bloodline was very strong. Hence, they had a large number of empires, of which some of them had countless races that could have emperors or kings, distinguishing between their bloodlines. As long as one had emperors and kings, they would be called majesties. The Chiosha race etc. were subservient races. Towards the demon clan, they were very respectful. Just like how the Goldhorn race and many other subservient races respected humans. His Majesty Meng Wei Nan is one of the members of the 10,000 Hidden Snakes Empire. You want to invite him? Lake Yue was still hesitant. His Majesty's normal state is that of a higher normal undying. However, once he unleashes his talents, his battle strength rises close to an official level undying. Fu Wei-san said, he can beat anyone below official level. With him there, we'll have a full guarantee. I can help you ask, but I can't promise anything. Lake Yue said. Give me his number. Once you let him know that I am looking for him, I'll then try to contact him. I have a full guarantee of getting him to help. Fu Wei-san said. Full guarantee. Lake Yue was shocked. You'll know soon enough. Fu Wei-san said confidently. When the Chiosha undying Fu Wei-san had contacted Lake Yue, Luo Feng and his team was on the way back to their base. Within the C9 ship's resting quarters, everybody split the goods. We got rid of 20 sector lords and 1 undying this time. There's plenty of goods. That fallen undying must have many treasures within his world ring. Ha ha. Taiwo laughed, ordering simultaneously, Mad Wu, you are in charge of checking whether any of the goods have any hidden spirit imprint of the undying that escaped. I'll check. Mad Wu took the 6 world rings and checked through each of them. Actually, whenever there were goods from a battle that involved an undying that escaped, they had to check. The scanning devices were used to check on the battlefield. The goods had to be checked again. Hence the chances of falling for a trap was very low. However, no matter how well one's defenses were, as long as an undying purposely intended to set the trap, one would definitely fall for it. Like if one of the sector lords in Taiwo's team had a huge background and he had an item from his teacher. The moment he died, Taiwo wouldn't be able to recognize the item either. However, the outer region wars were filled with dangers. There were many that fell, very few that tried to take revenge. Hence the warriors on the battlefield didn't care too much. No problem. Mad Wu laughed. Good, then let's split the goods. Taiwo said, this time, Madman and Poison did the most work. Poison even used a valuable potion. You two can pick first. Without Madman, I wouldn't have been able to kill that flesh-eating freak. Madman, you can go first. You go ahead. Luo Feng sat in the sofa and lifted a wine glass, casually. After splitting the goods, Luo Feng and the others took the C9 chip all the way back to their base, returning to rest within their base. The members all reflected on the battle and used that experience to train and strengthen themselves. Shatter stars, within one particular fragment. The scaled undying Fu Wei-san stood alone within, his eyes gleaming with ferocity. You made me lose 10% of my soul, despicable humans, I'll make you regret it. What's up with Lake Yue? I've already returned to the base, and he still hasn't contacted His Majesty Meng Wei Na. Fu Wei-san was very anxious. As a subservient race, the Chiosha race was naturally far below the demon race. Even with the same level of strength, the Chiosha race still had to be very respectful of the demon race warriors. What's more, Meng Wei Na was from an empire, and he was stronger than him. Even though he really wanted to kill the human team, he didn't dare go bother him. Call. Fu Wei-san revealed a fanged smile. Finally a call had come. Lake Ya, I've waited so long for you to finally contact me. Fu Wei-san said happily. Humph, among the empires in the demon clan, the 10,000 hidden snake clan is renowned to be ruthless. Even though I have some interaction with His Majesty Meng Wei Na, calling him randomly would enrage him. Hence, I had to detour a little. Just now he agreed to accept your call. Lake Ya said, this is his number. Fu Wei-san was extremely happy on acquiring the number. I'll contact you once I've successfully got him on board. Fu Wei-san said. If His Majesty agrees, I'll definitely come along. Lake Ya said. Then just wait for my good news. Fu Wei-san cut off the call and pondered for a bit, saying softly, the news I heard before should be right. If I'm not wrong, then I'll have a 100% guarantee of getting His Majesty on board. After which he dialed the number and awaited the answer. In an instant. Who's this? A hoarse powerful voice resounded, almost like within a deep valley. This voice resounded straight within Fu Wei-san's mind. It made Fu Wei-san to be able to help but think. The demon clan can at most communicate verbally, but their level of communication can actually emulate normal speaking voices. In terms of technology, it's much better than our Chiosha race. The moment there's a bit of distance, we'd have to take a ship to pass on the news. Great Majesty Meng Wei Na, I am from the Chiosha race, Fu Wei-san. He said, I believe Lake Ya has already introduced me. Fu Wei-san. You wish for me to come help you kill the humans? A thick voice resounded. Yes. Fu Wei-san said. Countless warriors fall in the outer region wars. Are we to take revenge for every one of them? Would that still be a war? The thick voice was somewhat enraged. Speak, tell me your reasons. Your Majesty Meng Wei Na. Fu Wei-san said respectfully. I believe my clansman Lake Ya didn't introduce the human team to you properly, otherwise you wouldn't be angry. In fact you'd be happy. The thick voice responded, speak. That human team has an undying and 9 sector lords. Of which 2 of the 9 have strengths akin to a normal undying. Fu Wei-san explained. 2 human sector lords with undying strength. The thick voice seemed urgent. Yes, Your Majesty. The scales on Fu Wei-san's face creased, as he smiled satisfied. Looks like the news he heard was right. Tell me about these 2 sector lords. The thick voice ordered. Among these 2 humans, one is a chemist. He's nurtured a sector lord plant life form, using his potions to make it have undying strength. The other is a spirit reader that uses the Nan Shan armament. He can actually unleash the 9th form a match against undying, heavily injuring us. Fu Wei-san said. Good, very good. The thick voice seemed excited. Fu Wei-san from the Chiosha clan, from now on, you have become my friend. Of course, you cannot lie to me. Definitely not. Fu Wei-san said. I heard from Lake Ya that you can determine their location. The thick voice questioned. Fu Wei-san explained in detail about his guaranteed safe trap. After everything, he said, even now I can clearly feel their location. Where are they? Their exact universe marker location is. Fu Wei-san explained. Actually, once the marker was too far away, even though an undying would be able to roughly feel its location, they wouldn't be able to tell the exact coordinates. However, shattered stars had a diameter of 0.8 light-years. An Emperor-level undying with teleportation could easily travel end to end. The distance was simply too short. Luo Feng and his team's base wasn't even 0.1 light-years away from Fu Wei-san, thus he could clearly feel their location and determine their coordinates. That's within shattered stars. There are many human powers gathered within. The thick voice said, we cannot risk entering. Fu Wei-san was stunned. Your Majesty, as long as we are careful. No. The thick voice said, "We have to wait until they leave the area of the humans. Only then can we make our move." Fu Wei-san could only reply, "Yes." The call was cut off. Within the dark fragment, Fu Wei-san sat crossed-legged. He used his claws to scratch the rocks below, while roaring, "The 10,000 Hidden Snakes clan is ruthless yet careful, the rumors sure were right indeed. HMPH. Looks like we can only wait. I believe they'll leave their nest quickly. At least I succeeded in getting this demon on board. The news I heard was right. Amongst the demons, killing genius humans had extra rewards." Fu Wei-san was very proud. The overall talent of humans was weaker than the demons. Hence it was extremely rare for a human sector lord to have the power of an undying. And it was so few that within the 7th Battlefield's entire 26 camp, one could easily count them with one hand. And their enemy, the demon race, had special rewards for their warriors when they killed human geniuses. The 10,000 Hidden Snakes clan was simply one of the empires. There were many more powerful ones above them. Hence, Meng Wei-na, as a relatively normal undying within the clan, with not many resources, would get so excited about the reward of killing 2 human geniuses. Under his orders, the Chiosha race's 2 undyings, Lake Ya and Fu Wei-san, headed to a gathering spot. The 3 of them gathered. They stuck together and awaited the human sector lord team to come out. The moment they left the area of where many of the human forces had gathered, they could make their move. "It's been 8 days already, why aren't they coming out?" "Fu Wei-san, are you sure your item hasn't been found? They may have purposely left it there." "Relax, it definitely wouldn't be found. My item was hidden within the slits of a weapon. Unless they destroyed the weapon, could it be that they madly destroyed all weapons? Be quiet and wait." The undying team were like hunters, patiently waiting for the chance to arrive. Shattered stars, within Luo Feng's team base. "We've rested for 15 days this time. This is 5 days more than the previous time. I'm sure everybody's well rested." Tai Wo smiled. The tall and sturdy Mother Flame Race Hammer said with his thick voice, "My hammer is already starving. I still lack a lot of points." The illusionist Wei said, rubbing the cat on his stomach. The members all got up. After resting for so long, they were ready for battle. "It's been half a year. I've got a good grasp of the outer region wars already." Luo Feng thought. "Should I follow this team for long? Accumulating points with them is simply too slow. If I went out alone, I could totally go hunt undyings and some even more powerful undyings. However, before the 1 billion points are accumulated, I'm not free and have to follow the army's arrangements." Luo Feng pondered. "Ha, we managed to kill an undying the last time. I hope this time we can get a similarly huge reward." Tai Wo's eyes gleamed as he ordered, "Let's go." All the members swiftly followed the deep pathways out and flew into space, after which they took their C9 ship and once again began their journey of massacre. Part 1 end here.